Hi everyone. I hope everybody is doing good. And today is going to be a special podcast on a very common thing that I've been hearing over the last few days, especially as the exams are coming close, and that is a feeling of self-doubt. Yes, and my inbox is flooded with so many messages where you all, my dear students, at some point or other are having a lot of self-doubt about your performance in the upcoming exams. So I'm just going to share a few quick tips on how you can, take care of self-doubt as far as your exam performance is concerned. Yes. Now, the first thing that I would say is that you need to realize that this is, self-doubt is an experience which a lot of us face, especially when we have to deal with new challenges in our life. And it is this sheer feeling of uncertainty that is creating a lot of havoc in our life. And sometimes we're able to overcome it, other times we're not. And when this feeling of uncertainty is always lingering on, it affects what you do in the present. Yes, and it affects your how you spend your day, your effectivity as far as your preparation is concerned. So it is very, very normal, and each one of us have experienced these feelings sometime or the other in our life. Yes, and majority of times, self-doubt is something which will stem from a previous negative experience. Yes, something that happened in our past, which we have not been able to forget. It keeps coming back and keeps telling us that maybe we would again be a failure, or we will again not be able to succeed, or we will not really achieve what we wanted to achieve, despite giving our time, energy, hard work. Yes. And the other reasons why we would have self-doubt is, this deep pressure from the society to achieve something big, to achieve, more than what people expect. And that often creates anxiety issues, and these anxiety issues, if they persist every day, it really affects your physical well-being, it affects your mental well-being. So, the first thing that I would want to say how to allay self-doubt is, the first point is actually the most important one. You should practice self-compassion. I agree, you might have had certain kind of failures in the past, and I would not really call them as failures, but I'm using the term because that's how you perceive it, and you make it sound so big in your life, right? And it's very, very essential that at the outset, at the beginning itself, we learn to not just accept what happened in the past, but also forgive ourselves for what happened in the past. It may not have been, you directly being the cause of what happened back then, but it could be circumstantial. It could be things that are happening around you, which probably led to a series of events which you define as failure. So be very, very compassionate to your own self. Tell yourself that, these are not actually failures. And you need to realize that this is a failure will not be a failure, because eventually you learn from it and you grow from it. It is the reason why we become our better, versions. Imagine, had it not been like this, we would all be born as the brightest, most intelligent, the most successful children in the world. But no, you carve your own path. The more mistakes you do, the more you learn from them. And that's the idea behind it. As long as you are learning from your past, and as long as you are forgiving yourself with what happened in your past, then you really can't call it as a failure. It's actually a phase of growth. Yes, and that is what you need to see it as. Second, I have seen so many students, when they are sending me a message and when I chat with them, they would always recall their past and say, that ma'am, this happened, and I think that, or I fear that it would repeat and I would be nowhere. So I would say, once you accept and you forgive yourself, the next thing is to actually remember your past achievements. You do remember your past difficulties, but why not actually remember your past achievements? I'm sure there would be so many instances when you started with a self-doubt, but you landed up doing something great. And it could be, it doesn't have to be academics. It could be any kind of achievement in your life. Maybe something that you wrote down as literature and came out to be a masterpiece. Maybe something you drew in the past and it came out as a masterpiece. Maybe something you sang. Maybe something, it could be just about any achievement that made you feel proud of your own self. And, there is absolutely no doubt that when you start new things or when you venture out to look out for new things, there would be self-doubt. So self-doubt, I would say, is the beginning. And you have to learn to grow out of it, and you have to learn to grow from it. Yes? The third thing, which I feel is very essential again, is do not compare yourself to others. Each one of us is living our own journey. We have our own circumstances. We have our own family issues. We could have our own academic issues, non-academic issues. So nobody is in your shoes. Yes, it's your journey. People can sympathize with you. People can feel you, but they cannot walk in your shoes. Yes, so your journey is unique. It has been carved in a certain way. So please stop these comparisons that you do with your peers. If you really want to enjoy the journey that you are in. Yes. So I think this is something that you should pledge, that in the next 50 odd days, I'm not going to compare on what my friend is doing or what someone else is doing or how they are performing, what are their scores. Please don't do that. No comparisons at all. If you really want to have a look at your score, you should be the only one whom you're comparing yourself with, and that is your yesterday. If you have improved from your yesterday, yes, and no matter how small that improvement is, since I'm talking about surely about academics, so even if it is like 1 mark, 2 marks, 5 questions, it is an improvement, and you need to acknowledge that in your journey, you are moving forward. And as long as you are moving forward, it's not an end. Okay? The journey is going to be beautiful. So the only person, if at all you really want to compare, is yourself, and just see how you are growing, how you are improving, and those little improvements should be your milestones. And each single small step that you take is going to convert into a beautiful journey. Now, when I talk about, self-doubt, I would also say that a lot of times we have these negative thoughts that keep coming back to us no matter how much we try. And, to the extent that sometimes it becomes difficult to even recognize these negative thoughts because we've become so used to of them. So how do we manage that? How do we, take care of these kind of thoughts? So I want to say, Bachas, that, it is very, very essential that you be mindful of your thinking. Yes, a lot of people say be mindful of what you say, but I would actually say be mindful of what you think. What you think when you're alone actually tells you the kind of person you are and the kind of person you really want to be. So, you have to feed your brain with all the positivity about your own self, about the world around you, and about the goodness that exists. Yes. So next time when you have a negative thought, give it a pause. Write down that negative thought and think that is it really true? Or is it something that you are weaving and feeding your brain with? Yes. So counter it. If you get a thought that no, I'm not capable, then write it down and then think that is it true? And then I'm sure you'll be able to think of so many other places where you proved that you're capable of things that you actually thought that you could not do. And that is what is a winner. Someone who's able to face the challenges, someone who's able to, move forward with new challenges thrown to them every single day is cannot be a loser. That person is a winner no matter what anyone else says. So be mindful of your thinking and try and tell yourself with a lot of positive affirmation that you are capable of everything that you really want to do. And then once you feed your brain, the next thing is to put your heart into it. Be very truthful to your work. Be very truthful to the energy you put in. And believe me, when your mind is positive and your heart is truthful, the result is going to be good. And you're going to be happy about how you did it as well. Yes? Then, this is something which I have been constantly telling all my students, spend more time with supportive people. This is the phase in life where we don't need someone to tell us that how you are not capable of doing this, or how you cannot achieve this, or how, this is not fair and that is not fair. And people who keep talking about all the negative things happening around you. This is the time that you need to choose your close circle. You need to be around people who support you no matter what. It could be your parents, it could be your sibling, it could be your close friend. And believe me, deep down, you really, really know who is in your inner circle. Not everyone is lucky enough to be in your inner circle. Close your eyes, think about those people. And when you think about people, and it brings a weird calmness into your mind, it brings a smile on your face. They are your inner circle. They are the one who you need to be. Lastly, I'm going to say that, stop asking for, or, thinking that you will get validation from people around you. You have to look for validation from within. So next time when you do good, as I said, even if it is a matter of a few MCQs that you improved on, you have to be the one who has to pat your own back. You have to write it down. You have to feel good about it. It doesn't mean that if it's a small increase in the score that you're not going to be happy about it. So, you have to find this validation from within every day for the next 50 days. People won't give it to you, bachas, right? They might give it to you once, but you are the only one who can validate your own self every single day. So, do that often. And I'm going to leave you on this note, and I'm going to say that identify your values. I'm sure your parents have, your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your friends have identified so many beautiful things about yourself. And this time I'm going to say it need not be academic. Think about the values that you have. Maybe you are a really good friend. Maybe you're a kind person. Maybe you are someone who has a lot of, empathy for others. So these are your values. These are the things that make you the one, the special one. Yes? So, you have a lot of special things about you. You just need to recognize it. Don't let self-doubt affect your today and tomorrow. I hope this helps, and I hope it gives you some peace today. Loads of love and good wishes from Dr. Deepti. Take care, everyone.